I just want to offer a little tip to all of my daters out there. This is based on my last couple weeks' experience in the lovely online dating world, but this applies to all dating. And that is that everybody needs to stop with their deal breakers and their rigidity and their being so jaded from past experiences. I had kind of an interesting experience happen to me in the last couple weeks, a couple experiences actually, and they were like pretty upsetting for me. I got pretty angry after both of them. So I'm still thinking about it, obviously. So I'm going to talk about it. What happened was, so I was supposed to go on a date with this guy the other night from Bumble, and we talked. And I said, I'm getting out of work at 8. Do you want to meet up then? We picked a place. Then I said, if I go home first and change, it'll be 8:30. And he said, don't bother going home. So I said, okay. In my mind, I still thought we were meeting at 8:30. Do you see where this is going? Around 8:20, I was just getting out of work a little bit late, so I went to message him, and I saw that I had a message from him that said, I'm here already. I've been waiting outside. I'm going to go inside and use the bathroom, but I'm already here. And I don't know what time it had been sent, but I assumed it had been sent right then. Now, this guy and I, for a couple days, had been getting along really well, having great conversation, great banter. From what I could tell in his pictures, I was very attracted to him. So I was excited to meet him. And I said, it's 8:20, I'm leaving work. I'll be there just probably 5 minutes late. And I kind of got some radio silence. I got a little nervous, and I said, we are meeting at 8:30, right? And he said, no, we said 8 o'clock. 8:30 was if you were going to go home. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. And he said, well, you know what? I've actually already been standing outside for 20 minutes, and I don't really think I'm in the best place to meet a new person. So why don't we just maybe try this for another night, maybe? Meaning, we're not going to try this for another night. Meaning, this guy could not wait another 5 minutes to meet someone he had had a very good rapport with. Now, let me ask you, which is harder to find? Someone who is on time exactly when you think they should be there, even though I did not mess up the time, he messed up the time, or someone who you have a good rapport with, who you're attracted to, you share a sense of humor, you share values, you have a similar upbringing. Which is more important? Something like time management is something you can work on. Something like having a similar sense of humor is not really something you can work on. Being attracted to someone isn't really something you can work on. He missed the opportunity to meet a potentially really good match for him. This seems like a person who's probably had some bad experiences in the past, but I'm just gonna say every time you go on a date, you need to wipe the slate clean, start fresh. Don't be so rigid. Now, maybe he's the kind of type A person that would not be a good match for me anyway. Admittedly, I am usually a little bit late and overbooked, but I'm guessing if you asked him if you had someone that you were attracted to and you got along with really well and you had a similar sense of humor and you challenged each other intellectually and all this other stuff lined up, would time management be a deal breaker for you? I bet he would say no, but that's what he chose when he chose to cancel our date based on the fact that I messed up the time, even though he messed up the time. He shot himself in the foot, and I feel really bad for him, and it makes me really angry because I feel like he could have pulled up his big boy pants, had a piece of chocolate, had a drink, and hit the reset button, and everything would have been fine, and then maybe I never would have been late again. I would have, but still. And we can work on my time management in the future. But instead, he just decided to go home, and I bet you he went home and said, LA girls are so flaky, dating in LA is so hard, online dating never works, I'm never gonna find anyone, I hate dating, I hate this, I hate that. So easy to do that when you don't even really try. Like, he was already at the bar. I was going to be there in 5 minutes. It's hard enough in this world and on these apps without making your window that much smaller based only on people who never mess up the time. And it was our first time meeting, which means even more flexibility and leeway should be given. That person doesn't owe you anything. Also, speaking of being jaded, I have to point the finger at myself a little bit because a week before that, I had tentative plans with a guy, and I didn't hear from him for about 4 days before our plans. Then the night before our plans, he was like, are we still meeting up? And I said, oh, I didn't hear from you, so I made other plans, but I'd be happy to reschedule. And he flipped out at me, being like, no, you said don't be jaded. You said don't expect you to flake, and here you are flaking. What do you mean you didn't hear from me? Well, I did not hear from you, literally, for 4 days, which is fine. We've never met each other. I don't expect you to be texting me every day, but to not hear from you till the night before, I think it's reasonable that I kind of thought maybe it wasn't going to happen. Now, because you're so mad that I wanted to reschedule, again, you're gonna miss out on meeting a person who could potentially be good for you. He was so jaded from being flaked on in the past, he had to cancel the whole thing and blow up at me. I mean, these are choices that we make. You have to decide what's important to you. If time management is an absolute, like, lockdown deal breaker, then yeah, I'm probably not the right person for you, honestly. And I'm glad I found that out about these people and saved myself some time. But you should think about that, especially because so many people have busy lives in the city and it's not always about you. If you're going to be like one of these guys and be like, she flaked or she messed up the time one time, therefore I'm not meeting her, like, you probably want to ask yourself if you're really even looking to meet someone, because that to me seems like someone who's just afraid of getting hurt and using that fear to prevent themselves from meeting anyone or having any kind of possibility at all. And yeah, you might get hurt. And yeah, someone might not show up and you might get ghosted, or I'm sure we have all dealt with flakes and it makes us just want to crawl back inside of ourselves and never do this again. But unfortunately, that's not an option if you actually want to meet someone. I'm just running into this a lot with a lot of people who have deal breakers and rigid rules and 8 million ways for the person to mess up before they even meet. Moral of the story is, yes, it's okay to have deal breakers. Everybody has them. Everyone has, like, I don't want you to smoke, or you can't be conservative or liberal or something. But I missed an opportunity. And I'm trying not to have deal breakers like I don't like someone who would have a problem with my time management. But if either of them had reapproached me and said, sorry, do you want to give it another shot? Or like, let's try that again, I definitely would have been down, just because like I'm trying to be more flexible and open if I'm going to tell everyone to be that way too. Forgive flakiness in the beginning. Try not to be a flake in the beginning. But if it happens, let's all just like forgive each other and be a little more open to the world, since this is what we're living in. And be a little bit flexible before you've met someone, before you've gotten into a relationship. Probably be flexible in that too, but that's another story. And you know, good luck, everyone. We'll talk about this again, I'm sure.